Remember last week when Nintendo shocked everybody by raising the prices of their 8-year-old Nintendo Switch hardware? Well, they might be getting humbled just a little bit this week because it looks like Walmart is fighting back and other retailers aren't that far behind. And the craziest part about all of this to me is that it seems like in 2025 you need a PhD in macroeconomics just to figure out what do things cost anymore. How is it that things are changing on a day-to-day basis as a result of like politics, corporate greed, supply and demand? What is going on? Like, can we please just reset the clock to 2015 and just can we just try the last decade over again? I'm losing my mind. Anyway, we're gonna break everything down in this video, but first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Okay, so I saw this post over on IGN this morning that says Nintendo Switch OLED is somehow $100 off at Walmart after price increases if you still want one for some reason. So I saw this and immediately I thought it was clickbait, so I went over to Walmart's website, right? And here you can see the results for Nintendo Switch when I type that in, and this is filtered by in-store only. That way we're not getting all those weird third-party sellers that are just trying to scam people or whatever. And if you take a look here, it is in fact the case that the Nintendo Switch OLED model with white Joy-Cons is $300. Now you'll remember that last week Nintendo announced price increases for the older Switch models in direct response to new tariffs that are being placed on them. Check out my video that I posted the other day if you want to learn more about those price increases, because it's not just on the old Switch models, it's on accessories, it's on Amiibo, it's on a ton of other stuff. So you can imagine my surprise when I saw that this Nintendo Switch model officially from Walmart and Nintendo, brand new in box, is $300, which is actually not $50 off like it says, but it is $100 off because the new MSRP for the OLED model is $399, as we reported last week. $400 for the OLED Switch, which is insane. Now it's worth noting that this is the only model that is seeing a reduced price. If we take a look at the original Nintendo Switch, they do reflect the new pricing of $339, right? Remember, the original Switch used to be $300 before this new price increase took effect. Same thing with the Switch Lite over here. It used to be $200, now it is $230. So we see the price increases have officially taken effect as of the 3rd, August 3rd. Today is August 8th, and the only outlier here is that the OLED model is $100 cheaper than it's supposed to be. So right now it is actually cheaper to buy an OLED Nintendo Switch brand new in box from Walmart than it is to buy the older, worse version original Nintendo Switch, which makes absolutely no sense. So then I got to thinking, I'm like, okay, well, if Walmart is doing this, is it the case that other retailers are doing this as well? So I popped over to Amazon, and what do you know, we actually do see a price decrease on some of the Switch models. Now, of note, and I'm not sure why, there is no OLED model listed on Amazon brand new in box from Amazon themselves. I saw there were some third-party sellers, but if we're looking just at official listings from Amazon themselves, you will see only 3 Switch models. There's the original, the Switch 2, and the Switch Lite. And you'll notice here that Amazon has not changed the price of these older models. You'll see that the new price of the Switch, which is $339, is crossed out, and it has now been reverted back to what it was originally, which is $300. Same thing with the Switch Lite. It's supposed to be, according to Nintendo, $230, but Amazon is still selling it for the older price of $199. So really all that's changed here is Amazon is just looking at this, looking at Nintendo's MSRP, and they're like, okay, well, I guess what we'll do is just put it on sale for what we think it's supposed to sell for, and then people will think they're getting a deal even though the price hasn't changed at all, which I thought was hilarious. So you could either get a cheaper OLED Switch from Walmart, or if you go to Amazon, you can get a cheaper original Switch or Switch Lite. Now it's worth noting that there's still no reason to buy a $300 Switch from Amazon when you can get a $300 OLED from Walmart. So I don't make any money off of this. I don't have any affiliate links. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't care what you do with your money. Save your money for retirement, put it in investments, stocks, bonds, your kids' college fund, all that stuff. But if you were for some reason still in the market for a Switch OLED and you want it brand new, this is probably the best time to buy it, to be honest with you guys, because I can't imagine that a brand new Switch OLED goes below $299 over the next 6 months, right? I just can't imagine that's going to be the case, right? I mean, realistically, the MSRP is 400 right now. You can get it for 300. So this is kind of like, hey, you know, if you still want one, this is probably the time to get it. Not to give you guys FOMO or anything, not to, again, I don't care what you do with your money, but like if I were in the market for the OLED and I was holding off, this would actually, I would probably pull the trigger now. Okay, then I thought, let's check out Best Buy. And if we take a look at what Best Buy's got going on here, you could see that the Switch OLED is $349. What do you know? So wait a minute, hold on. Nintendo said it's supposed to be 400, and we see Best Buy has decided to not adopt the new pricing strategy that Nintendo has suggested. We take a look at the original Switch, same thing. Best Buy said go F yourself. It's staying at 300. Switch Lite, what do you know, the Switch Lite is still $199. Maybe Best Buy just didn't get the memo. I don't know here. So what exactly is going on here, right? Well, I think of all the retailers, the most interesting one is Walmart, because they've got the best deal on the best version of the original Switch. By the way, I checked Target as well. Target has adopted the current price as listed by Nintendo. So right now Target is the most expensive place to buy the original Switch. But what is happening here, right? Like what is going on? Why are the prices up and down? Why is everyone freaking out? Okay, well, obviously I don't have any insider information, right? I'm a small YouTuber, and by the way, the support on the channel lately has been insane, so thank you guys so much. This is a quick reminder to consider dropping a thumbs up if you like the video, and consider subbing if you like the channel. But what I suspect is happening here is Walmart is looking at their inventory of Switch OLED models, right? They're looking at all of the inventory that they've already imported, because remember, a lot of companies like Walmart and Amazon imported a lot of these goods many months ago in anticipation of tariffs and anticipation of the uncertainty. And especially, you know, ever since global lockdown, I feel like supply chain has been a very big focus for these big companies. They don't want to find themselves in another situation where they have no products, not enough product to sell to consumers. So what I suspect happened is Walmart must have ordered a ton of Switch OLED models a few months ago, and now they've got these sitting in a warehouse somewhere, and they see that the Switch 2 is already on shelves. It's already selling pretty well. Right now, my most recent video, we talked about how it did have its worst week ever in Japan, but all things considered, if you average it out across all the weeks, the Switch 2 is still selling better than the Switch 1 on average, right? Of course, it's selling much better on average. So you got to remember, Walmart is America's largest retailer, so they're looking at what I suspect is a large inventory of an outdated Switch model in an environment where the Switch 2 is already in demand and selling pretty well, and they see Nintendo just raise the price or raise the MSRP of the Switch OLED, and they're thinking like, well, wait a minute, it's only going to get harder to sell the Switch OLED as time goes on. Throughout the rest of 2025, it's going to get harder and harder to move units of the Switch OLED, because more and more games are going to come out for the Switch 2. The price of the Switch 2 at $450 compared to $400 isn't that crazy. So Walmart's probably looking at this situation, and they're using just a little bit of logic, and they're extrapolating out 6 months, and they're thinking like, well, wait a minute, if we don't get rid of these models right now, we're not going to sell them. We can't sell them during Black Friday for $400. That's not happening, right? It's just not going to happen. People want the Switch 2. Whether the internet believes me or not, people want the Switch 2 more than they want the Switch 1. Everyone already has a Switch 1, right? Like, let's just be real here. Everyone who wanted a Switch 1 already bought one at this point. So then they probably thought, okay, well, we can make it 300 for Black Friday, and then we'll move units at that point. But the answer is, will you? Will you really? Or are people still gonna want the Switch 2? I think especially kids, like people, like the kids have no idea what's going on, right? They don't know that there's like backlash for the Switch 2 and all that stuff, right? They have no idea. They just want to play the new Donkey Kong Bonanza because their friend Billy has it, and it was really fun when they did a little sleepover last week, right? Like, so they want the Switch 2. So parents are gonna buy the Switch 2 no matter what. Okay, we all know that. So they're thinking, okay, well, we could lower the price for Black Friday, sure, but that might be too late, because by Black Friday, we're already gonna have the Legends ZA bundle out for the Switch 2. We're already probably gonna have either Kirby Air Riders or Hyrule Warriors, or maybe even Metroid Prime 4. Like, there's gonna be more games to play on the Switch 2. Now, I know that some of those games are on Switch 1 as well, but like the Switch 2 is the definitive edition. It's gonna perform slightly better, right? You know it, I know it, everyone knows that. So Walmart's probably trying to get ahead of this problem, and they're like, okay, well, while our competition is trying to figure out what they should price these things at, we're just gonna slash the price to 300 and just move as many of these units as we possibly can, because when they imported these units they were expecting to sell them for 350, which means they bought them from Nintendo for less than 350. Maybe they bought them for 300, maybe they bought them for 270, maybe they bought them for 250. I have no idea what Walmart's margins are on these units, but it's clear that they feel like it's safer for them to get rid of some of these models at $300 because they don't know what the future is going to hold. And again, we are going to start sunsetting the Switch. Okay, it's gonna happen. If the Switch 2's momentum keeps up throughout the rest of this year, which we'll see, maybe it will, maybe it won't, I have no idea, but if the Switch 2 momentum continues in this pattern, we're gonna not see that many Switch 1 editions of games moving into 2026, and especially not in 2027. So Walmart is playing the long game here and saying, hey, look, I know you want us to raise these prices, but like people aren't even buying them anyway, and it's only going to get worse, so let's just get rid of them now. That's what I think Walmart is doing here. They are looking at, you know, the amount of supply that they have and the amount of demand that there is, and the demand is going down and the supply is staying the same. That there's just no reason for them to charge 400 for this. It's ridiculous, and everybody knew that, right? Like, I mean, this makes sense. This is what's supposed to happen. As a console or a handheld or whatever gets older, the price is supposed to go down, right? Like, that is, I mean, this is a first, by the way. Nintendo raising the price on an 8-year-old console is a first in my lifetime. I've never seen an 8-year-old hardware go up in price after all that time. It makes no sense, right? Now, I mean, obviously global trade is we are in a very interesting time in history for global trade, at least post the 1980s, right? Like, ever since globalization took over. We're not going to talk about that, okay? That's a topic for another video, possibly even another channel. The point is, I think Walmart is living in reality, whereas Nintendo is raising their prices just because they feel like they have to as a response to global trade, right? Which, it's a free market. They could do whatever they want. They could recommend that retailers sell it for X amount of dollars, but if it's not selling at that price, then they're gonna lower the price. I mean, that's just the customer decides if it's worth it or not at the end of the day. Now, one other thing that is on sale that I wanted to point out here is, actually, this has been going around on Reddit, but the Doom games are on sale right now on the Nintendo eShop. So if you have been wanting to play any of the Doom titles, this is the biggest discount I've ever seen on the Doom games. The 2017 Doom release is $4 right now. It's 80% off. Doom Eternal from 2020 is $10. Doom 1 and 2 bundle is $4. Doom Anthology, which came out earlier this year in February, is $28, down from $80, right? So 65% off. All the Doom games, as you can see, have a massive price cut. Doom 64 is $2. Okay, so if you guys are Doom fans and you want it portable on the go, this is the cheapest that you'll probably ever see these games for your Switch or Switch 2. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Do not miss this sale. It's only for 3 more days. Also worth noting, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is $10, so that is 75% off. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is $42, so that is 30% off as well. If you guys are waiting for the new Hyrule Warriors, you haven't played the most recent one, you can get it a little bit cheaper here. Yes, it's digital, which isn't great, but you don't have to leave the house, and it is a little cheaper. Kirby Star Allies is also on sale here. It is $42, so 30% off. Dragon Ball Fighter Z Fighter Z Edition is also 84% off, so $14.39. Kind of insane. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is $20. Got a pretty good deal on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate plus DLC bundle is $17 right now, 50% off. Monopoly 2024 is 50% off. It's $15. Monopoly Madness from 2021 is $7.50. Castle Crashers Remastered $7.50. Wow. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled 65% off. I'm not going to go through everything here, but there is a lot that is on sale. We got some Mega Man here, Battle Network collection. So if you guys haven't taken a peek at the Nintendo eShop and you don't mind buying things digitally, there are some decent deals here, but especially the Doom games. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video that the Switch consoles were not the only thing that got a price increase, and here we have a list of all of the new prices. Shout out to Ricardo for sending this to me, but at the very top you could see the console price update and changes. But the original Joy-Con 1s for the original Switch are now $90, so they were increased by $10. The individual individual Joy-Cons are still 50, so that did not change. The Joy-Con 1 charging stand went up $5. I didn't even know that was a thing. The Pro controller, the original Pro controller, is now $80. It went up by 10 bucks. The NES controller as a pair is now $70. SNES controller went up by $5. Actually, all of these controllers went up by $5. Joy-Con 2s are now $100 for a pair. That's, oh my god, can you imagine back on like the PS2 or PS3 spending $100 for a controller? That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. The Pro controller 2s are now $90, so another $5 increase there. So if you guys picked one up for $80 on launch, you saved a bit of money here, so pretty cool. Oh, here's the GameCube controller, $70 for a brand new GameCube controller. That's crazy. The Amiibo went up in price. I can't believe that. I feel like Amiibo don't even sell that well anymore. Am I crazy? Like the Smash series Amiibo, they used to be 16, now they're 20. Bro, they're everywhere. Am I losing my mind? I don't get it. The $20 Amiibos are now $30. So Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf is now a $30 Amiibo, bro. What? The Donkey Kong Bonanza $30 amiibos are the same price. $40 amiibos are the same price. The Street Fighter amiibos didn't even sell. They were in bargain bins like a week later, weren't they? Like no one's buying amiibo. I shouldn't say no one. Very few people are spending $40 on amiibo in 2025. Okay, the time for amiibo is over. That was a 3DS thing, if you guys remember. Like, I mean, I know it was on other consoles, I know that, but I'm saying like that's how old amiibo are. They're mad old, and they were awesome back when the hype was Skylanders and everyone was talking about the toys, right? And like I like the idea of toys as DLC, but like not for 30 bucks, bro. Sorry, not for $30. That's crazy. Anyway guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Just want to give you guys an update on some of the pricing here for the Switch OLED and Switch models. Some of these retailers are fighting back, and if for whatever reason you wanted an OLED Switch, now is the time to get one. Don't forget about Doom and the other discounts on the eShop if you don't mind digital games. And with that being said, guys, if you've been to the end of the video, drop a thumbs up on it. It really does help out the channel a ton. It helps get this video out into the YouTube algorithm so other people might see it, and consider subscribing if you're new here and click the bell to be notified the next time I upload a video. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.